All right, Shalom with the Hebrew Israelites. Come out here week in and week out. Prophesy the downfall of the daughter of Babylon, the third Babylon, aka America. But first and foremost, I want to say call Halayim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Harakachwadash. Double honors to the elect apostles and prophets of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Harakachwadash, which is Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from and who rule well. Salutations to the Bakiyar, the elect, the 144,000. That's 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel consist of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous of America. The 144,000 being the governing body within the 1/3. The rest of the 1/3 comprises of elect men, women, and children. Shalom to you Israelites scattered due to the diaspora and also the triangular trade. So our people will come looking like different ethnicities, having various complexions. So this is not a black thing. We're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're just Hebrew Israelites. Shalom to those that died in this truth. It says the dead should be raised up first. Those that will be accompanying Yahawashi on his return, including our King Mashah, who is King David. And as always, it's an honor and privilege, honor and blessing to continue to do this work. The water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi Ba'ashem Harakachwadash, answering my prayers and permitting me to do such. Baba Kashah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi Ba'ashem Harakachwadash allowed us to be an edifying camp to at least one member of the elect. And, you know, Salaki is going to be a short camp, so I got to go to work at 9, and it's 7:16 right now. But the camp is going to be about Yahawashi coming as a travailing woman. You know, because these heathens, they don't think that, you know, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous have a power, man. But this is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 13. It says, Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man, which Yahweh is sending his son, Yahawashi, to send him forth as a mighty man to obtain his glory, which we're going to glorify him in the kingdom, man, as we're glorifying him this day, starting with the elect. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. Yeah, because he's coming to bring war to his enemies. And his enemies are you heathen nations, man. Starting with the nation of Esau. You so-called white people, man. You started calling yourself in 1681, creating this construct of colorism and race, which the Most High doesn't deal with colorism, man. He deals with nations. 17 nations that he created, man. You know? But in order to hide Esau's identity, he created that construct of race. But we know who you are because the Spirit revealed it to us. Just as you do a diligent search about all things, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, we did a diligent search about you. It says he shall cry, yeah, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. And he's going to destroy all your weaponry, man. He's going to take away your sword, which was your blessing. You know, you spend, what, $850 billion a year on your military. You come out with these new inventions on how to kill people. Well, that was your blessing, man. That was the blessing that Isaac gave Esau, his elder son. But now we're in a time in which the Most High is dwindling that blessing, man. Despite you trying to put the Scopeo on the tribe of Judah, man. you know, which is going to be to no avail. Because eventually you're going to be in chains and shackles underneath the tribe of Judah and all the rest of the tribes, man. You know, going back to co-pilot in the Lost Shawan Kodash, it says Yahweh goes forth as a mighty man. Breakdown, this is Yahawashi returning in his father's authority. He stirs up jealousy like a man of war. Going back to Exodus, the 15th chapter, the 3rd verse, it says that he's a man of war, man. You know? And if he's a man of war, how much so his people? You know, because we're the real warriors. Esau, he was designed to be a cunning hunter. You know? So his tactics are aligned with those that hunt animals, not those that are actual warriors, man. So he needed certain inventions to help propel him to the status that he's in today, man, which was the Gatling gun. Without that, he wouldn't be in the power that he is in today, man. You know, the Most High had to give him a immense amount of help, whether it was the Black Death, whether it was the Gatling gun, you know, whether it was the nuclear missile, which the nuclear missile is going to be used against him, right? AI commentary, this is the war shout, the travailing cry, the emotional eruption when he sees his people oppressed. You know, and that's the thing that I've been saying, you know, for the past couple of weeks. Wait until our God returns and sees us in the hands of his enemies, man. And how he's going to react to it. You know? Verse 14, I have long time holding my peace. So for a long time he has hold his peace, man. He allowed you demons, you devils to do what you do, man. You know? Part of the reason is to fulfill your blessing, to fulfill prophecy, man. It says in Revelation the 20th chapter, the 3rd verse, you shall be loosed a little season, man. You know, from when you crawled up out of those, well, really from when you, that yoke was broken off your neck underneath the Israelite Moors, man. And you were allowed to rebirth during the Renaissance to have the dominion that you have now, man, which was only for a little season, man. It's not forever, man. Despite in the scriptures, as it says, you think that your houses shall continue forever, man. You're sadly mistaken. It says, I have been still and refrained myself. And the Most High has been still, man, despite, you know, us crying on to him for him to hurry up and remove you out of your place, man. Going back to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, he removeth kings and he setteth up kings, man. You know, we're waiting for him to remove you, you damn devils, man. To establish an equilibrium upon the earth. Because the earth is not in a righteous balance right now, man. Everything is mourning, man, because the righteous are not in authority, man. Right? It says, now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. It's only going to take an hour for you so-called white people, you Edomites, to be destroyed, man. You're going to get hit with 200 million nuclear warheads, man. You know, or combat warheads. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be conventional mixed with nuclear. Since everybody says, oh, they don't have that many. Well, we don't really know how many warheads they got, man. But we know through the scriptures, because it's already happened in another dimension, that this place was destroyed by 200 million, man. Warheads. You know? Which a lot of you can't perceive that in your mind. A lot of you think that you know the Bible and you really don't. You just know that Christianity, Satanism madness, man. I call it Satanism because it's contrary to the scriptures, the teachings of Christianity, man. You know, all you people talk about Christian and Jesus, that's all madness, man. And that's a sure telling sign that that individual that believes in those things are going to get destroyed, man. Going back to co-pilot, it says Yahawashi says he has been silent a long time, but now he will cry like a travailing woman. This is the emotional release after centuries of watching Israel suffer. So these damn devils don't think that we belong to nobody, man. That, you know, when the scriptures say that they toucheth the apple of his eye, they don't understand that we're that apple, man. After centuries of rape, robbery, and murder. You know, so imagine when he returns and he already knows what went on. He knows the intricacies. He knows the particulars. He has the details. Just imagine the rage, the fury that he's going to unleash on you Edomites, man, and all you heathen nations. Because from some odd reason you want to lump all yourselves in to the covenant, then how the hell are we going to get our inheritance, man, when the heathen are our inheritance? So it doesn't make sense scripturally for everybody to be saved, man. Which a lot of you don't understand John 3:16, man. He didn't come for the whole world. He only came for the world of Israel. Yahshua. You know? This is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 4. It says, "For thus have Yahweh spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh armies, come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof." Right. So he's going to come down and fight for us, man. Yahshua, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and indigenous who are of the elect. He's not coming back for the whole nation of Israel because, the whole nation of Israel, they're not all right, man. Only the elect are trying to get themselves together, man. The rest of our nation, they're lost in the sauce. They're on the Bill Cosby pudding, man. They're on the Quaaludes. Spiritually. So he's only coming for his elect, man. Going back to co-pilot breakdown, Yahawashi roars like a lion over his prey, unbothered by the armies gathered against him. Yeah, because they're going to send all their forces to fight against Yahawashi, pursuing the second Ezra's, I believe, the 13th chapter. And he's going to banish them with one smooth stroke, man. One death stroke. And turn them to nothing but dust. And through the pride of these assholes, they can't imagine something like that happening, man. These Edomites think they're the end-all, be-all, man. Even though they bleed. Even though they're weak. They're relying on their military, which their military is getting fucked up in the Middle East, so-called. Which we know it as Asia Major and Asia Minor, man. But Iran knocked down 42 of their aircraft and caused $29 billion worth of damage already, man. And then they're trying to go back. They're trying to create these false peace agreements. Which goes back to Psalms, the 55th chapter, the 21st verse. His words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, man. You can't trust this damn devil, man. You know? The Bible warns of him for a reason. AI commentary, it says his roar is a travailing cry, the sound of unstoppable judgment, man. They're not gonna be able to cap it in a bottle, man. They're not gonna be able to stop the judgment that is coming, man. You know? It's gonna be relentless. You know? Like they got in Mortal Kombat, you got a relentless mode where you know they just going crazy, man. You can't stop them. They're unstoppable. They're like a juggernaut. Well, that's how Yahawashi is gonna be on you heathen nations, man, upon the wicked, man. You know? Going to Isaiah. I gotta keep this camp short. Hey, the water Yahawashi for allowing me to come out here. But I gotta keep it short. You know, I did pray to get, you know, some money, some extra hours. You know, and through the spirit and power, I've been working since Thursday, and it's Sunday. You know, so I gotta do what it do, despite, you know, these LGBTs and these Edomites that look like they got child porn talking shit behind my back, because that's what you Edomites do, man. You talk shit behind the keyboard or you talk shit behind people's back, man. And just like I told that asshole, say it to my face. You know? Not trying to champ out like Chud the Builder or crash out. Just say it to my face. And just like the other dude, he was kind of hesitant to, like, you know, tell me certain things. And I received it pleasantly. Like, yeah, teach me. I want to learn. This is the first time I'm doing this and that and the third. Teach me what I need to know. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get, you know, turn into Rasputia. I want to learn. You know, but there's a way to go about it. If you're going to just be talking under your breath or talking shit, you know, say it to my face, man. But a lot of you men out there, you're a bunch of weak motherfuckers. And if I was a woman, I wouldn't want to be around a weak motherfucker like that. That would talk about another man knowing that he ain't going to say it to that man's face. You know? But that's what you got in this society, a bunch of weak men, man. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 6. It says, a voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahweh that rendereth recompense to his enemies, man. Because it's easy for me to just put up prayers and put that nigga to death, man. Just like these rapper niggas say, I got bodies on my, holding up my, man, I got prayers, man. I put a lot of people to death, man. But I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I try to be, you know, easy. You know? But, you know, a lot of you people, you don't believe Hebrews 13 and 2. It just doesn't mean angelical force. It means the prophets too, man. It means the seers too. We are messengers too. Are we not conveying a message? Are we not the voice of Yahawashi, pursuing the Baruch, the first chapter? You know? So if we ask for something, if we ask something to be done to you, it's going to get done. And then what? Your whole career is over, man. Then they're going to knock on your door and say, hey, we found child porn on your fucking computer, you fucking pedophile, you. or you might get hit and stuck underneath the bus. You know? Whatever manner of judgment the Most High has prescribed onto you, man. But you're all set up through the Spirit from the foundation of the earth to cause yourself to be led to that judgment, man. Just like, from the foundation of the earth, I was set up in the spirit to come here today, at this time, to teach. It says, before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who have heard such a thing, who have seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the birth and not cause to bring forth? Saith Yahweh. Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb? Saith the Most High. Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her. All ye that love her, rejoice for joy with her. All ye that mourn for her. That ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, and ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem, or Jerusalem. Which that's where the Most High is going to set us back in, man. Not no Balfour Declaration. And these devils, their juju is strong, as they say, man. Their deception was very strong upon you people, man. Deadly deception. And that was all of the Most High, man. The deceived and the deceiver is his. Going back to co-pilot, break down a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahweh rendering recompense. AI commentary. This is the war cry of Yahawashi as he begins judgment. And he's going to begin judgment with the thousands of angels, man. They're going to light this place up, man. And the plague, one of his plagues was those thermonuclear missiles, man. And they never shot down none of our aircraft, man, our chariots. Because our chariots are alive, man. All that UFO, all that alien bullshit that they're trying to bring out to try to get your mind off the Epstein files, that's all madness, man. Talking about there's 4 different, that's all madness, man. That will mean that there are other gods. But our Heavenly Father said he found none. Now, there might be, certain beings on the left-hand side created. But you're trying to fall into that deception that is not going to deceive the elect. It's going to deceive you common folk to believe in Esau's bullshit. And you got to think, out of all the nations and all the people that they could come and speak to, why are they coming to speak to Donald Trump? Why are they coming to America, man? Out of all the places that they could be, man, or they could go to, why are they coming here, man? It's all a fucking setup, man. It's so-called white man's bullshit. Going down to verse 15, it says, for behold, Yahweh will come with fire. Right, he's coming with the fire of the chariots, the lasers, and he's coming with those thermonuclear missiles, man. He's going to allow them to be shot off, which he controls those nuclear forces, man. There's no such thing as free will. And if he don't cause the buttons to be pressed, he'll put it in the spirit of those operators to press the button, man. It says, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. You know, the so-called UFOs, which UFO stands for unidentified or unidentifiable flying object, and UAP stands for unidentifiable aerial phenomenon, man. Which are the chariots, the vehicles that the heavenly forces travel in, because they choose to. Going back to co-pilot, says Yahawashi returns with fire and chariots like a whirlwind. AI commentary, the travailing cry becomes action, destruction of the enemies. Going to Isaiah chapter 63 verse 1, it says, who is this that cometh from Edom? You know, now this is him already destroying America, man. Because, the chief capital, Basra, is America, man. Which the chief capital, Basra, was in the chief capital of Edom back in the day, man. But to now it's, symbolically Edom. America, Slovakia. It says with dyed garments from Basra, meaning that, not necessarily his garments is going to be dyed with blood, but it's symbolic of the slaughter that he's going to administer. It says, this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So he's going to let you know why he is nicknamed the King of Terror, man. When he destroys this place and you people, man. All you heathens, man. All you Myron Gaines, all you sneakos, all you wicked niggas, all you Chud the Builders, all you niggas, man. Whoever you may be who ain't right. If I ain't right, he gonna destroy me too. No ifs, ands, or buts. It says, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. So we're waiting on the year of his redeemed, when he's gonna crack those clouds, man. He gonna crack his knuckles and get busy on you damn devils, man. And show you that you're just mortal men. You're not gods. Your technology ain't shit. Even Iran has shown you that your technology isn't shit. That's why they down 42 of your aircraft, man. You don't got no magical force field, man. Yeah, you could do all the PSYOP, you could do all those different operations, but it's gonna be to no avail, man. All it is leading to your destruction, is itching you closer and closer to your demise. And you meeting the King of Terror, man. Since you want to throw that term out there, it was all through the spirit, man. Terror and terrorist. Soon you're gonna meet the King of Terror, man. It says, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm, his own power, because your arm is your power, brought salvation onto me. In my fury it upheld me. So he's not gonna need no backup, man. He ain't gonna need to call no dial digits. It's just going to be the Heavenly Father's Son against the rest of the world, man. And he's going to destroy all their armies. He's going to destroy them utterly, man. And then he's going to put you heathen nations into slavery, man. That's what the scriptures, that's the story, what the scriptures say, man. And there's nothing nobody could do about it, man. It says, and I will tread down the people in my anger and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. So he's going to bring down their strength to the earth, man. All that perceived strength through pride and arrogancy, he's going to bring it down to the earth. He's going to bring it low, like the limbo. How low can you go? All the way low. To the ground, man. That's why it says, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Why is it a virgin? Because it's never been touched by war. America has never been touched by war in the homeland, man. But in these times, it's going to get touched by war. Because now these nations have intercontinental ballistic missiles that they could fire off and whack-a-mole this place, man. Going to co-pilot breakdown, it says Yahawashi is described as angry, breathing heavily, stained with blood. AI commentary, his emotional state is intense, like a travailing woman, but expressed through vengeance. You know, just look at an angry black woman, man. You know, and how she gets when she's angry. You know, almost like a pit bull. You know, the most dangerous pit bull is the female. That's why I don't really like getting female pits, man. And plus, you got to worry about them being in heat. Or a female animal of almost any species, any mammal, man. Look how a bear reacts about her cubs. Or a lion. You know? They're quick to tear shit up. They're even quick going into lions to fuck up the male lion, man. You know? But going to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. And that's what we out here doing because, you know, prior to the 60s, this would be unheard of, man. You know, Uncle Ruckus would have got the rope and lynched us right there in that tree. You know, I got the rope right here. That nigga guilty. You would have lynched us right there in that tree, man. If this was prior to the 60s, but now the Most High has set it up. Now we're standing in great boldness. Now we're cussing these damn devils out, man. And we're applying the scriptures. We're putting out scriptures that these assholes, they weren't taught in Sunday school, man. Because that Sunday school goes with a curriculum that's a limited curriculum, man. You know? And yet they still don't know nothing because why? The scriptures are still sealed onto them, man. They don't have the Rakach Chodash. They don't have the Holy Spirit, man. In order to break down and divide the word rightfully. You know? It says, before the face of such as have afflicted him, before these Edomites that afflicted us, and hold themselves not guilty, man. Till this day. You know? It says it made no account of his labors. They don't give a shit about us building this country up. They ain't giving us no reparations. They rather give 1.6 billion to those retards that were in the January 6th riot, man. But they ain't giving the people on this side no reparations. And that's cool because, hey, Yahawashi is going to give us our reparations, which is going to be you. Pursuing the Psalms, the 2nd chapter, man. As for me, and I'll give you the heathen as thy inheritance, man. We might not even step a foot on the ground anymore. We're going to be stepping on you heathens' backs. Just like when Xerxes, would step off his throne. There will be human steps that he will walk on before he even touched the ground, man. We might not even touch the ground. We might just have you heathens run and get up and run again just so we could step on you if we wanted to walk on the earth, man. And you so-called white people, you're going to have a hard time in that 1,000 years of slavery, man. Because you ain't built for struggle, man. You ain't built for a whip on your back, man. Despite you being in slavery in the Dark Ages, man. You ain't ready for it. It says when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Yeah, because it's not something that they ever thought was going to happen, man. Seeing all these ships in a massive ship taking Jake up, extracting Jake. Because that's what it really is. It's going to be an extraction. Just like in military terms, man. Extracted from a hot zone. The hot zone is going to be America getting hit with all those thermonuclear missiles, man. And then you're going to see the elect of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans being extracted into ships and saved. While you're just looking and gazing, like, oh shit. And those missiles are dropping simultaneously, man. It's going to be a beautiful day. It says, so far beyond all that they look for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, in ridicule, and a proverb of reproach. We put to shame. We fools accounting his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God? And that's how a lot of you people going to be, especially because even on the individual level, on a micro level, a lot of men you thought, was this, that, and the third, you're going to be in bewilderment, man. You're going to be astonished. How the hell is he numbered among the children of God, man? He was just a nigga, or he was just a spick, or he was just a tonto. Didn't we just have these niggas hanging on trees? How is he taken up into the ships while these thermonuclear missiles are bombarding this place, man? That's how a lot of you people are going to be in that day, man. I thought these were just chimps. Which further proves a lot of you don't understand the scriptures, man. It says, and his lot is among the saints. The only way you could be a saint, you have to be an Israelite, man. That's the only way you could be a saint. You have to be an Israelite. Otherwise, you're just a heathen. And you're going to be a slave soon, man. You're going to be talking about how we was dukes. We was dukes. Bill, John, we was dukes. Just like that movie, The Planet of the Apes, man. He didn't know that that was America. That was all in the rubble, man. That was made into a desert. Which he got that, the director or the writer of that movie, he got that from the scriptures, man. Which is going to be a change in the places, man. It says, therefore have we erred from the way of truth. Yeah, you got these Edomites want to be homosexuals and adulterers and witches and warlocks and lesbians, and they're erring from the way of truth, man. And then they believe that white supremacy history that doesn't even align with history, man. Their mind is all warped, thinking that, you know, the history that they learn in these high schools, these grammar schools, is actual history, man. These colleges, it's all bullshit. It's all a lie. Going back to him being loosed a little season and deceiving the world again, man. That's why you gotta study these damn devils like they study you. You know? It says, in the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. So the masters of these people have not known the way of the Lord, man, but he has revealed it unto his prophets, man. Onto the elect. Onto those that believe. Breakdown, it says the enemies tremble when they see him. His cry shakes the nations. Right? This is 2 Ezra chapter 13 verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof, which this is dealing with the sea as the heavens, the Bashamayim, the waters in the heavens. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, which were the angels, and the chariots. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, which is the lasers, all they burned that heard his voice, like a earth faileth when it filleth the fire. You know, it says, breakdown, when Yahawashi opens his mouth, the blast of fire proceeds. AI commentary, the travailing cry becomes the devouring flames, which is basically the lasers, man. That are going to be destroying these people, man. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of heaven, out of number, Slakia, from the four winds of the earth, Slakia, of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea, that came out of the heavens, man. So you're gonna have them scrambling fighter jets, scrambling bombers to shoot cruise missiles. You know? Just like you've seen in that movie, the first Independence Day, man. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. So he's going to be standing on top of the ship, man. Which is going to be a massive ship. But I would have not, Slaki, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight, yet dared to fight, man. The Most High is going to have to put the spirit on them to fight, man. You know? That cockpit is going to smell like a state fair portable, man. But yeah, and still the Most High is still going to have to put the spirit on them to fight, man. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, they're going to be shooting their missiles, their air-to-air missiles. He neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, which is lasers, man. Concentrated fire, man. That's what the Most High's Son is going to do to our enemies, man. And finish you MFers off, man. It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, man. You know, and these dreams that the Most High gives his men, man, they're heavy dreams, man. I could attest, some of the dreams I had recently were heavy, man. Heavy as hell, man. So I only could imagine what, you know, Ezra was going through, man. But going back to co-pilot, it says his breath burns the armies like dust. This is the roar of judgment. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, which those clouds, because those chariots can cloak into clouds, man. You know? Camouflage. Right? And every eye shall see him, so it's going to be broadcasted. Every eye is going to see him, man. All those that are allotted to make it that far. Because a lot of you going to be dead already, man. A lot of you going to be dead and gone way before Yahawashi returns to earth, man. It says that in the Apocrypha. If he grant thee to live to see his salvation, man. Right? It says, and they also which pierced him. So those Roman centurions, those soldiers, they're gonna be here, and they're gonna get really fucked up, man. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. Going back to co-pilot, says all tribes mourn when they see him. His cry is matched by the world's cry of terror. Going to Revelation chapter 19. Verse 11, it says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, which just represents Yahawashi in the chariot. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And he was clothed with the vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahweh. And he's not going to be literally clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, man. That's just symbolic of all the souls he's going to send back to the spiritual world, man. Going to co-pilot breakdown, it says Yahawashi returns as a warrior, judge, and executioner. AI commentary, his emotional intensity is expressed through righteous slaughter. You know? This is Hosea. Hosea chapter 11, verse 10. It says, they shall walk after Yahweh, he shall roar like a lion. When he shall roar, then the children shall tremble from the west, which we're in the west right now. We're in the western hemisphere. You know? It says breakdown. Yahawashi roars like a lion, and his sons come trembling. Yeah, because even the remnant shall be affrighted, man. You know? AI commentary, his roar is both war and reunion. This is Micah chapter 5, verse 3. It says, therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Yashar'Allah. Breakdown, it says, Israel's in travail until the one who is to rule returns. And we are. You know, no cap. AI commentary, Yahawashi's travailing cry answers Israel's travail. Almost like a hero mother, man, if you will. You know, the cub weeps and cries for his mother, and the mother is roaring, looking for its cub, man. See, you devils got hell to pay, man. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 3. It says, then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle, man. And that's why they call him a terrible demon-like power, man. He wasn't no sissy, blowing kisses and blowing bubbles. They call him a terrible demon-like power, man. Breakdown, Yahawashi fights as in the day of battle. AI commentary, the travailing cry becomes a physical warfare against the nations. So how the hell can all nations be saved, man? If that's the case, who the hell is Yahawashi going to go to war against? And to deliver his woman? That Christianity is a bunch of bullshit, man. And all you people that believe in it are lost in the sauce. God doesn't love everybody, man. He only loves the world of Israel, which consists of 12 distinct nations, which all they have their own separate spirit, but they're all in agreement with Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, man. So going to the synthesis, AI commentary, Yahawashi return is described as emotional, like a woman in travail, explosive, a roar, a cry, a shout, vengeful, righteous judgment, protective, seeing his people crushed, war ready, entering battle with fury. His travailing cry is not weakness, it is the eruption of divine wrath after centuries of watching Yasha'Allah suffer under their enemies, man. He cries because of love, and he destroys because of justice. You know? So with that, I gotta get ready to travel to work. I know it's gonna be a short video today, Salakia. I wanted to come out here tomorrow, but I had to work too, so I hope at least one brother of the elect was edified, and I'm gonna say Shabbat Shalom.